If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well
Joy,
thought.
I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
America, America, from sea to shining sea.
It all kicked off with a performance that rocked the entire entertainment world. Carrie Underwood, the country queen and America's golden girl, and shocked fans when she hit the stage at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. Yep, that inauguration. To some, it looked like a simple act of patriotism, just a superstar doing her thing, singing for the country. But others, they saw it as way more than just a show. The backlash came fast and loud, and leading the charge, The View's Sunny Hostin. Sunny didn't hold back. For her, this wasn't just a concert, it was a statement, and not the kind she was willing to co-sign. In fact, she slammed Carrie's choice, saying it felt disappointing, almost like a slap in the face to the values she believed in.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Suddenly, what Carrie saw as a star-spangled gig turned into a headline-making storm. People weren't just talking about the songs, they were questioning her loyalty, her morals, even her politics. That mic drop, it came with consequences. The drama exploded fast. Within just a few days, what started as a performance had turned into an all-out media storm. But buckle up, because that was only the beginning. Sunny Hostin wasn't done throwing shade. Nope, she went even harder on The View, turning disappointment into direct shots. She flat out questioned how Carrie Underwood could wave the flag and sing about loving her country, while performing for someone she boldly referred to as a convicted felon. That line, it detonated across social media. People were shook, not just by how blunt Sunny was, but by what she was really saying. To a lot of folks, it didn't just sound like a critique, it sounded personal, like Sunny was dragging Carrie's entire character, her patriotism, her values, everything. And while Sunny stood firm, doubling down with zero hesitation, Carrie's fan base came swinging back. They weren't having it. And just like that, the internet turned into a war zone. The heat on Sunny Hostin, it was rising fast. Some folks said Sunny went way too far, turning her personal opinion into a full-on public takedown. Others backed her up, claiming Carrie's choice to perform was a major misstep. And just like that, the country was neck deep in another culture war, one where celebs, politics, and public opinion clashed in front of millions. As the internet burned with hot takes and hashtags Carrie Underwood, she stayed completely silent at first. But that silence? Oh, it wasn't gonna last. Carrie was gearing up to make a power move that no one expected. Instead of firing off tweets or sitting down for a teary-eyed interview, Carrie swerved hard, taking a route no one saw coming. In a bold twist, she slapped Sunny Hostin and several other hosts of The View with a defamation lawsuit. Yep, Carrie said enough's enough and dragged the drama straight out of Twitter and into the courtroom. Carrie's legal team came in swinging, and they weren't playing. According to them, Sunny Hostin's comments weren't just strong opinions. They were flat out damaging and crossed serious legal lines. The lawsuit hit hard, claiming that the remarks made about Carrie's performance and her entire character were not only completely false, but delivered with reckless intent. In the entertainment world, where image is currency and reputation can make or break a career, this kind of public hit wasn't just hurtful, it was dangerous. And Carrie, she wasn't about to just let it slide. The internet went wild. Supporters who had always backed Carrie were now praising her even louder for standing her ground. To them, this lawsuit wasn't just about The View, it was a full-blown stand against media giants who, in their eyes, crossed the line from critique to character assassination way too often. They called it brave, bold, and long overdue, and just when it felt like things couldn't get any hotter, boom, another big name suddenly jumped into the chaos. And just like that, enter Joe, a man who's built his entire brand on speaking his mind, no matter who it offends. Part 4, things were about to get even messier. As the heat between Carrie Underwood and The View kept rising, Joe Rogan jumped straight into the fire. On his massively popular podcast, he unleashed a takedown that had the internet buzzing in seconds.
I think art is art, and you know, you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
He didn't hold back, not even a little. Rogan ripped into Sunny Hostin, mocking her on-air comments and openly questioning her credibility. Then he set his sights on The View itself, calling it nothing more than a sensationalist circus that survives off outrage and chaos instead of real conversation. According to Rogan, this wasn't about patriotism or politics. This was about performative outrage and double standards. He slammed Sunny for targeting a singer just for singing while ignoring the bigger picture. It's all hypocrisy, he said, and he was done watching media spin drama into headlines. Fans lit up social media, posting clips and tagging friends. Finally, someone said it, flooded the comments. For many, Joe's no-filter rant was a breath of fresh air in a storm of noise. The internet had officially chosen sides, and the war wasn't slowing down. Carrie's supporters were riding hard, Sunny's defenders weren't backing down, and then there was a growing crowd watching it all like a reality show gone off the rails. To them, this was classic media chaos, messy, loud, and way over the top. But guess what? Joe Rogan wasn't done stirring the pot, not even close. Part 5? He came back swinging with even sharper jabs that had the internet on fire. Rogan aimed straight at The View's panel and didn't hold back. In one of his most savage moments yet, he quipped, "If you average the IQ of the hosts, you're not even hitting triple digits." Ouch! That one hit hard. And he didn't stop there, he singled out Sunny Hostin again, saying her arguments were flimsy as a paper towel. He clowned her for attacking Carrie over a song, calling it completely nonsensical. According to Joe, it was just another example of the fake moral grandstanding that's turned people off from shows like The View altogether. For him, the issue was never about Carrie's performance. It was about the way mainstream media plays puppet master, using outrage as a tool to whip up drama no matter the damage. And people were eating it up. Clips of Rogan's rant flooded TikTok, X, Instagram, everywhere. His words weren't just commentary, they were a rallying cry.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
yeah.
it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
Social media was in full-blown meltdown mode. Fans, critics, influencers, everybody had something to say. Some thought Joe Rogan had crossed a line. Others said he was just doing what no one else had the guts to do. Telling the truth, raw and unfiltered. But regardless of where you stood, one thing was clear. Joe Rogan had officially become a major voice in the growing rebellion against The View, and especially Sunny Hostin. Part 6. This drama was far from over. As expected, Rogan's brutal takedown didn't stay trapped inside the four walls of his podcast. Within hours, the clips were everywhere, going viral on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube. Wherever you looked, someone was reposting it, reacting to it, or going off in the comments. The hashtag number Joe Rogan was right started trending like crazy, and suddenly the internet split into two loud, passionate camps. One side stood with Rogan, praising him for finally saying what they believe media wouldn't touch. The other side clapped back, accusing him of going too far and dragging down women's voices in media. One tweet that racked up thousands of likes screamed, "Finally, someone calls out Sunny Hostin's nonsense. Joe Rogan for the win." People even started digging through old View episodes, unearthing past controversies and inconsistencies to fuel the fire. What started as backlash over a single performance had now snowballed into a full-on credibility war, with The View's entire image on the line. Every time Trump popped up in those old clips, the contrast hit hard. Back then, he was all smiles, handshakes, and applause. Welcomed on The View like royalty. Fast forward to today, that same stage treats him like public enemy number one. Joe Rogan didn't let that slide. He called it out as straight up laughable hypocrisy. And his audience, they ate it up. He used those clips not just for drama, but to drive home a bigger point. The View wasn't just inconsistent, it was opportunistic. According to Rogan, this wasn't about growth or change. It was about switching sides when it benefits the narrative. One day, Trump's their friend. The next, anyone who stands near him is suddenly the villain. It was a mic drop moment that shifted the spotlight back onto the hosts themselves, and their authenticity was now under the microscope. Part 8? While Rogan kept the receipts rolling, the internet was already in meltdown mode. Social media erupted into chaos, with hashtags like "Oji cancel Sunny Hostin" and "Stand with Carrie" blowing up across platforms. What started as a reaction to one performance had evolved into a digital uprising. People weren't just debating Carrie Underwood's lawsuit anymore, they were demanding accountability from major media voices. Carrie supporters were louder than ever, backing her lawsuit and praising her for what they saw as a fearless stand against media bullying. And the battle lines? They were drawn loud and clear.
Average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a way.
Many people were fired up, arguing that public figures like Sunny Hostin shouldn't be able to throw out personal jabs without facing real consequences. To them, this wasn't just an opinion. It was a targeted attack that could seriously damage someone's name and career. But Sunny's defenders clapped back, calling the outrage overblown. They claimed she was simply speaking her truth in a politically charged moment, saying what a lot of folks were already thinking. Still, the criticism kept piling up, and fast. Comment sections under The View's posts were flooded, filled with demands for public apologies, suspensions, even calls to fire Sunny altogether. It was clear, this wasn't just another internet trend. It was spiraling into a full-blown reputational crisis. What started with Carrie Underwood singing at an inauguration had now blown up into something way bigger. A national debate on freedom of speech, media responsibility, and where exactly the line sits between commentary and defamation. And through it all, Sunny Hostin stayed silent. Not a tweet, not a statement, not a word. But that silence, it got people talking even more. Was it a smart PR move to let the storm pass? Or was it a sign that things were unraveling behind the scenes? Part 9 pulled back the curtain, and what it revealed wasn't pretty. Reports started leaking that even some folks inside ABC were growing uncomfortable with how the whole mess was playing out. And the pressure on Sunny, it was rising fast. According to insiders, producers over at The View were starting to seriously question whether Sunny Hostin's growing list of controversies was becoming more of a liability than an asset. What started as one sharp comment had now spun into a full-blown media firestorm. And behind the scenes, the pressure was boiling. While ABC kept things quiet in public, sources said the internal conversations were getting heavier. Producers were reportedly debating whether the constant backlash was starting to drag down the entire brand. With headlines stacking up, and none of them flattering, the question became unavoidable. Was Sunny worth the noise? Even some loyal viewers were starting to check out. Comment threads and fan forums began to echo the same sentiment, that the show had veered too far from real conversations and thoughtful discussion. Instead, it was turning into something that felt more like a gossip reel than a talk show. Meanwhile, Carrie Underwood's supporters were not letting up. They used this moment to not only defend her, but to spotlight what they saw as a bigger issue. Unchecked commentary and mainstream media going too far, with zero accountability. As Sunny stayed silent, the conversation charged on without her, and more people began asking the same question. Had too much damage already been done? Was her seat at The View still secure? Carrie Underwood's lawsuit was no longer just about protecting her name. It was becoming something much bigger, a wake-up call about media responsibility, and for her fans. This wasn't just about Carrie anymore. It was about all of it. At the heart of it all, this story isn't just about a singer and a talk show host. It's about drawing the line. A line between free speech and reckless defamation, between honest critique and full-blown character assassination. One viral tweet said it best. This isn't just about Carrie. It's about holding powerful voices accountable when they cross the line. And that's exactly the message Carrie Underwood's legal team sent, loud and clear. If you're gonna speak publicly, especially with a platform as massive as The View, then yeah, your words carry weight. And now, they carry consequences too. In today's world, whether you're a daytime host or a global pop star, the rules have changed. The public is watching closely. As for Sunny Hostin, her future on The View is looking shakier by the day, with Joe Rogan's viral roast still spreading and the criticism mounting from all directions. The question isn't just if she'll respond, it's whether she can bounce back at all. And Carrie? She's proving that sometimes the most powerful clapback doesn't come in a tweet. It comes dressed in legal paperwork. If you were hooked by this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. This story's not done yet, and we'll see you in the next one.